So, I decided to see the new Snow White movie to see if it deserves all the hate that it gets. Well, in this video, we'll talk about it. Of course, I don't really know much about Snow White. Really, I only know Snow White through a fucking hole in the wall. I mean, as a kid, they made me watch the 1937 animated film on like rainy days, where the teacher or the substitute would roll the card out and then be, "All right, you fucking watching Snow White now." I'm a child. I see cartoons on the goddamn television. I'm like, "Yeah." Did I understand anything? Probably not. The only thing I do know is because we all know a little bit of the Snow White movie. She falls asleep because of the poison apple. Her Prince Charming wakes her up, or True Love's Kiss wakes her up, and they live happily ever after, and there's like 7 dwarves. Yay. That's about as much of the knowledge about Snow White that I know. So, of course, going into this movie, I was aware of some of the controversies of it being quote-unquote woke garbage. Honestly, I never really paid attention to it. I kind of heard that it was just, this ain't your grandma Snow White. This is different. She isn't going to be a damsel in distress. She's going to be like a girl boss, which a lot of people didn't like because, of course, I just want to hear Snow White. You just give me what I know and we'll call it a day. But unfortunately, the actor, Rachel Ziegler, apparently had a lot to say about how this is a newer, more modern Snow White, which rubbed a lot of people the wrong way. So, my fucking dumbass with, as you heard my history, don't know shit about Snow White. So I figured, I'm gonna walk into this movie. I'm not saying with an open mind. I'm gonna just walk into this movie to see, is this just a good movie? And to my surprise, honestly, some of the music was actually really good. And there were a lot of things I would say you should really fix. Is this a good movie? It's serviceable. Is it woke garbage? I don't necessarily think so. One funny thing about me going into this movie and how much I never really paid attention was I didn't know this was going to be a musical. I have no problems with musicals, but my dumbass did not know that the second I walked in there, music started playing. Okay, yeah, it's a Disney film. And then the dad started singing. Whoa, holy shit. But mind you, he was a great singer. That opening scene with everything in there, the one main area that they use for a prop, which is the courtyard, beautiful set. Beautiful fucking set. I liked all the colors they used. You had physical tables. You had second layers, second stories. I'm an idiot. Of people just hanging out and being like, yeah, pass apples. What a great day. What a great fucking day here in the goddamn kingdom. Another thing I want to talk about was the costumes. The costumes were honestly 50-50 on how they were amazing and how they were just kind of terrible. So one of the first persons that would honestly had the best outfits was the Evil Queen, Gal Gadot's character. Holy shit. When she fucking walked in, I was like, wow, look at that beautiful lady. But ultimately, she plays the badass. She looks great. She has that look. Her singing and her acting is a whole nother story, which I won't dwell into because I think we all know where that's going. But her as the fucking evil queen, she looked great. One of my favorite things about her outfit was you can hear all the jewels she put on her. She would turn and she would look and you could hear the jingling, the fucking folly. The fucking folly of this movie, great. Sound design of this movie, fan-fucking-tastic. I can go on, but I really don't want to gush on how beautiful and amazing Gal Gadot looks. I want to talk about the other half, which was, well, when you meet some of the newer characters, which is the bandits that Snow White hangs out with, which is a story. We'll get into it a little bit, just not right now, but I really want to say, my God, those bandits did not look good. They look like dudes at a Ren Fair. I don't mean people who work at Ren Fairs. I mean a guy who has a 9-to-5 job, called a few of his friends up and were like, yo, let's get dressed up. All right, cool. Let's shoot on over to Goodwill or Savers or some things on Amazon. Homeboy looked like he had a blazer and a fucking hoodie. He looked like a guy who would sing with the fucking Lumineers. Of course, we'll get more into that. Let's go with something that I really wanted to understand is, would an idiot like me know the difference or even remember of when the old movie starts and where the new movie begins? Now, I will honestly say it's fucking crazy how quickly that happened. The movie starts usually the same old stuff. I mean, the difference is her origin for her name Snow White is completely different. She was born in a snowstorm. They were like, Snow White, that makes sense. Yay. Of course, parents die. It's a goddamn grim fairy tale. Everybody fucking dies. Whatever. But we go from that to Snow White, being a servant under the evil queen, talking to the evil queen, and then the evil queen being like, yo, I want to be like the hottest lady in the entire world. But of course, the mirror's like, hey, yo, fucking Scott Hall. I don't think it's going to be Scott Hall. Hold on a sec. So the mirror goes, hey, evil queen, you're a great lady, but you're not the prettiest, fairest lady in the world. That's exactly what he said. Sure, he made it rhyme. I can't make it rhyme because I'm a fucking moron. Anyway, so of course she finds out that it's Snow White. She asks the huntsman, yo, you got to kill Snow White for me, big dog. I want the prettiest person in the whole world. So he's like, damn, all right, I'll do it. Cut out her heart, put it in this box, go pick apples with her. She goes fucking pick apples. This scene's about the same. I will give them credit for Disney for this. They actually, put the goddamn dagger out and pointed it at Snow White, which gave actual tension. Lately, they've been kind of like, oh, let's not show too much violence. I will say, I was kind of like, oh, wow, they put that dagger really close to her fucking face and actually gave pretty good tension. Of course, he's like, change of heart. I knew who you were since a kid. Get out of here. She runs. They do the CGI horror scene where she's running in the woods. Honestly, not bad. I'm cool with that. That's fine. Blah, blah, blah. Escapes. Yada, yada, yada. No one cares. I care. I don't know. She lands. She feeds a fucking deer. And the deer goes, yo, check this place out. Where she, of course, leads to the dwarves. The 7 dwarves, which, holy shit. The only thing I have to say about the dwarves is CGI was a choice. Okay? CGI was a fucking choice. And a bad choice at that. They decided to go super realistic with the goddamn dwarves. Because I paused in that last one because the thing that comes close to my head is the fact that the skin is so scary. Why was they so detailed about the gross fucking skin? It is so nasty, dude. It's a freaking Ren and Stimpy Meat Canyon gross up every time you get close to them. They should have hired little people or dwarves. I don't know why they did that. I know that they hired Grumpy's actor. He was an actual dwarf. I don't know if they did choreography or anything for him, but everybody else were not little people or dwarves. It was just Grumpy. Personally, I think they should have done it and hired dwarf actors because, fucking makes sense. I mean, why not? Instead, I get to see Snow White dance next to CGI, scary-looking, realistic dwarves, which I can clearly tell she's not dancing near anything, so it kind of just sucks. If they had actual people, you have so many live sets. Their house looks amazing. But you decided not to do that. You decided to use CGI dwarves. Not going to dwell into this too much, boys and girls. We're going to keep moving. Boys and girls and everyone on and off the spectrum. Let's go. Of course, they sing fucking Hi-Ho. Wasn't bad. It's fucking Hi-Ho. What do you want from me? I never liked that song, so I have no attachment to it. And then Whistle While You Work plays, which I thought was really good. The choreography in that scene, fantastic. I think it was really good. I just wish they had real people. Moving along in the story, the movie hits that point. It hits the point where I realize this movie is different. It's so funny because she leaves the place I forgot what the reason was, but she leaves the place and she's like, goes stage left. And the movie fucking changes. I am just amazed how well it changes. It's blatant. Like I said, I don't know anything about Snow White, but for some reason, after the dwarves and Hi-Ho and fucking Whistle While You Work plays, she goes off into the woods and you can hear the fucking Queen's men. Queen's men? Anyway, of course, she gets taken from behind and someone holds her. It's a thief from the earlier story. Don't worry about it. It's ultimately what I mentioned, the group of bandits who fight in the name of her father, the name of the king. They're bandits, they're not really knights, they're just a bunch of people. They meet, and I don't know. The scenes in the woods at that moment were just different. The shots were weird, and the dialogue was different. It was really one fucking line away from the good old-fashioned millennial bullshit. Well, that just happened. He's right behind me, isn't he? Type of shit that I am sick of, and I know a lot of you guys are sick of. It's fucking wild because she spoke, like, I gotta give her props. Rachel Zegler, when she walked in there for the first half of that movie, or the first of 1/3, I don't fucking know. Anyway, the first part of that movie, everyone was speaking very clearly. Everyone was speaking very royally, and I enjoyed that. They spoke very classically. They moved a certain way. They turned that corner, and it was just, this is a different fucking movie. The tone is completely different. It was funny, was talking to Blondie Sunday, and she's like, yeah, because they ran out of the original material, and so they had to make up their own, which, boy, oh boy, it is like a different writer wrote that. They wrote a song for the fucking Evil Queen that Gal Gadot sang. The choreography and the scenes were great. But the tone of that movie just changed. It completely changed. It got to the point where I think Rachel Zegler was talking about, oh, she's not a damsel in distress. She's more, tougher. That was like 5 minutes of the movie. It was just 5 minutes of the movie. I don't think maybe it was blown out of proportion, but it didn't really need to be spoken about. I think if you would have just let that ride and just kind of happen that way, I think it would have been like, yeah, that makes sense. Like, yeah, I get it. Yeah, it makes sense. I'm not going to fight that. If you just want to sit back and just let these things happen. No. Her homeboys, that's her new friends, the fucking people I mentioned earlier, the group of bandits who look like fucking dollar store fucking merry men or whatever. I don't fucking know medieval shit too much. Anyway, the dollar store boys, I'm gonna call them. So dollar store boys show up, and she's like, all right, they do the cool guy thing, we're gonna help you, we're to do a distraction, you guys run. Cool, boom, they go run. But she's like, I got an idea, which I thought was cool. I thought that wasn't bad. Get some of the animals, run some more distractions, help them fight. It wasn't, she didn't fucking take a sword and was like, I'm gonna kill these motherfucking guardsmen. Nah, she was just, let me also try to trick them and we can probably get an advantage and run. Who wouldn't do that for people who were kind to you? Come on, let's be real. Overall, they somewhat get away. Homeboy, bro, I don't even know his fucking name. I'm gonna call him Jimmy. Fucking Jimmy. Oh my god, I forgot the fucking song they mentioned earlier. They sing a song called Princess Problems, which is honestly a terrible fucking song. I'm sorry, that song's trash boat. I wasn't a fan of it. Really, a lot of the songs, like I said, the first half of the songs were good. The classical songs were good. Some of those after songs, like I mentioned earlier, Gal Gadot's songs and the fucking Jimmy, whatever his name, Jimmy John, the Princess Problem songs, I gotta say, not a fan, big dog. It is just not good. But overall, the story keeps moving. She gets attacked. He takes a fucking bolt for her. They have their nice little... Of course, they didn't want to push the whole romance angle, but they had a romance angle. I will say, yeah, I mean, they weren't like, oh my god, I need your love. They were just, oh my god, we like each other. Which, like I mentioned, you didn't have to talk about it, so to speak. Like, it wasn't that groundbreaking. The way they kind of liked each other was rather organic. I mean, who wouldn't want to fall in love with someone who saved you and took a fucking arrow for you? Makes sense to me. Granted, the pacing of this movie isn't good, but that's fine. It's only an hour and like 40 minutes. Please, that's all we need. Don't give me a fucking 3-hour epic about Snow White. I don't need that. So honestly, thank you. Thank you for making the movie just short enough to where you can make it for wide movie releases. Great, thank you. So we will get to the very, really, just I don't want to go too long about this movie. We get to the end. She has her, I guess you could say, tough girl moment, but it wasn't really that tough. She, in my opinion, would do exactly what anyone would do in her situation when she stood up against the queen, knowing that she had a plan. We got a plan, Arthur. We just need more money. So, of course, we show up in my favorite courtyard, and we get there. She approaches the queen. They all come out. They all start singing a little bit, and they approach the queen. And the guards come out. They all stand against each other. Blah, 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 blah. She wins by knowing all of the guards' name. Now, it sounds dumb, to be honest with you. It does sound dumb when I say it. But I think what really works for this character is I would have taken that version of it rather than her, like, I don't know, picking up a sword and a shield and being like, we're going to fucking parry all these fucking casuals. No. Her mom really in the story is like, hey, you should be really good at knowing people's names because having a community or being a good leader is knowing your people, is knowing and understanding who people are and spreading kindness. Cool, man. That's like the soft touch that makes sense. She sees all the guards because early in the story, I didn't talk about this earlier because I don't know, who cares? That originally all the guardsmen, there weren't that many. It was mostly farmers in their area. Evil Queen made all the farmsmen soldiers and forced them to fight and become tough guys, so to speak. So, of course, she knew all of them. She's like, hey, you're Larry. You used to own a fucking pawn shop, and your wife's name is Linda. Oh, Jerry, your wife is named Betty, and you guys were bakers. And they're all like, oh, you remember who I am? I'm not just an asshole. It's like, yeah, I know you. And they're all like, I can't kill a fucking child. Especially a child who knows me, remembers who I am. I ain't doing it. And then, of course, the fucking dollar store boys show up with the huntsman, and they're like, you're surrounded. And they were like, yeah, I ain't fucking killing this lady. So the guards were all like, I stand with Snow White. Everyone's cool. Gal Gadot's like, this is bullshit. A completely different ending as she runs up the stairs, goes to the magic mirror, fucking breaks that shit, and then turns into like Avengers dust and the end of the movie. I mean, it ends once again on my favorite spot, the courtyard, which honestly was really cool. What they did was they just had a big ceremony where everyone's wearing white, everybody's dancing, and they're just white petals. So many white petals everywhere. It looked so fucking cool. I gotta give them props for that. I got to give them props for that. The end. Whatever. Overall, is this movie woke garbage? No. Is this movie a good movie? No, it's serviceable. I said it earlier and I'll say it again. Just being someone who doesn't necessarily care about Snow White, who's just walking into a movie. Himbo walks into a movie and watches Snow White. It's just Snow White, man. It is just a different take on it, a different spin. It wasn't groundbreaking or anything crazy. Like I said, the sets were fantastic. If you're really mad about it, you can literally just go on Disney Plus and watch the original. Shit, if you're mad about that one, you can read the fucking book. It's a movie. All right, it is the movie in line of a bunch of other fucking, let's be real, BS live action Disney movie. It's probably going to be forgotten in a few years. I don't know. It's Snow White, bro. It's just new Snow White.